The next item on our agenda is a request for recognition from Gregory Keeler. If you go to the microphone, give your name and address for the record, please. You have 5 minutes.
Can I hand this out for these pictures?
Would you give them to the city clerk, please?
Hi, my name is Gregory Keeler. I'm a resident of Southfield Drive. My address is 25170 Southfield Drive. Last week as I sat here and I listened to some of the things that Lawrence Tech had to say about the building of the new dormitory on our street, one of the things I did not hear him address was anything about the residents. I want to thank the council for bringing up some of the things that we have brought up to them as issues, and the fact that they did not address any of those issues, but went on to talk about their project, but none of our concerns. They have sent out a letter for us to meet with them on a Thursday this coming week. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, but pretty much we were dismissed as far as I was concerned throughout that whole entire conversation. There was nothing said about us, nothing said about our safety, but the students and everything else, all their needs were addressed. Our needs were not addressed. And my feeling is, if you let them go through with this, we will be dismissed completely. Those pictures that you have there show where the dormitory sits and shows the parking lot. The very first picture is the new dormitory, but you see down the road, and Mr. Frazier, I think you asked him a question about being in front of the building and being able to unload and load. If they put where you see the cutout is, they would be able to unload and unload if they had the building facing Lawrence Tech as opposed to facing or cutting into Circle Drive. If they turned it that way, and if you took the picture they have and articulated that way, it will face that way, and they will be able to go in and out, be 200 feet away from our street, and we would not have any problem. The next page is just another picture of the same shot, just a little bit closer up, also showing that you have street lights there for their safety. Didn't say anything about our safety and street lights because we have no street lights on our street at all. The next picture shows the dormitory, which you can see clearly from Circle Drive, which if you look on a closer picture, if I had it, you will see the old trails from where Lawrence Tech had cut out and made it a drive-through to get in and out from Circle Drive. Circle Drive only has one way in, one way out, that's 10 miles. This is a back view looking from Lawrence Tech. The next picture, number 4, is a back view of looking at the wooded area that's been cut down from Lawrence Tech's viewpoint. The next one, number 5, is the same thing as the wooded area cut down from Lawrence Tech wood point. And number 6 is looking at it from Circle Drive. So if you're on Circle Drive, you would think it was a nice wooded area until you look from the back end and you would know that it's been all cut down already. So it's already had the deforest done to it. And then number 7 shows the same thing. But number 7, that wooded shot shows an area where they say the students won't walk through, but the next day afterwards, when I was talking to one of the neighbors, that's where they came walking through the woods to get to the house that's over there where they would go to the party at. So they are walking through even now. They are walking through the woods. The wooded area they're going to put up is not as deeply forested as this. There will be less and bigger areas for them to walk through and to come into the neighborhood. Next, there was a question about how did they acquire property in our neighborhood. Did they go around, did they ask anybody or anything else? My neighbor died, that's when they acquired the property. The neighbor across the street from me died, that's when they acquired the property. The property on Lois Lane, I think it's the same thing. As far as somebody being alive, if I was to put a sign up today, Lawrence Tech would not be the buyer of my property. As I look at it, as they're doing this piecemeal of putting one in at the top of Circle Drive, at the bottom end, and one at the other end of it near 10 Mile, this is just going to become more and more harassment for us. We told you that there were police reports, that they could go look and find out what the complaints have been, so that there is a public record, so that everybody knows exactly what has happened on Circle Drive, as opposed to calling campus security and it come up missing. they have not checked that out. I spoke to the one guy from Student Services today, and he asked me, he said, well, what is your problem? I said, my biggest #1 problem is, I said, there was 7 or 8 people there that was complaining about all the issues they had on the street, what was wrong and everything else, and you couldn't address one of them. Mr. Riser didn't come back and tell you about one of them. I said, that is a major issue. And I'll save the rest of my time for next week.
Mr. White?
You know, I don't know if you know the answer. Do they have a permit to take down the trees?
I doubt it.
Can I find out?
And you have the pictures.
Take down all those trees?
And I should add, my wife does work from home. And when they were building that dorm, at that point in time, she wasn't working from home. Do we hear the shake and rattle from there? And will she be able to have a business conference call with all that banging going on? Or me?
The tree is cut down and has to be replaced. And I'm going to find out if they did that.
You got pictures. That was wooded before that, before the pictures. But I took the pictures maybe 5, 6 years ago. That was deeply wooded, both sides.
I'll find out.
Mr. Percassi?
I was at the meeting, and I thought we addressed a lot of the concerns of the residents, even to the point where we told LTU that they would have to empty out those houses if there were students that weren't behaving. They had the student person here, had his, what was he, yeah, he was here. He spoke, he guaranteed that he was going to take care of it and make sure that the neighborhood came back to some orderly ways. And if not, they were going to empty out the houses and not let them stay in those houses. And I thought that that was addressing those parties that were occurring on the street. I think that that meeting you were at was a meeting that this council usually holds when we have a public hearing and there's so many questions. We have a study session, just like tonight, to go over, and it's just council and the petitioner normally, unless somebody comes up, somebody raise their hand and can talk. But other than that, I thought we addressed a lot of those concerns. There'd be no access onto Circle Drive. Everything would be fronting on the side of Lawrence Tech. There would be berms put up along Circle Drive, so there'd be no easy way to get through walking. I can't remember all, there was a tree survey that they had, and what trees that they felt were not good trees, and then the ones that were good trees they marked. They was doing inventory, and then they had to replace every tree that they cut down. They would have to either put it there or put it someplace on the campus. It would be kind of a way of evening things out. But I'm sorry that you felt that we weren't addressing, because I thought we were really on top of that and making sure that we brought peace back into that neighborhood. We respected your viewpoint. I think everybody at this council, I think Jenna made some comments that she wanted to make sure that that neighborhood, at least addressed the concerns of the people. I think Lenny did too.
I thought I said thank you for addressing that you were the one that brought up those
we did everything we could.
Right, and that's why I said thank you.
Oh, all right. I thought you were bringing
No, I said thank you for what you did, because it shows that you stood up for us. So I said thank you, I thought. If I didn't say it in the beginning,
I thought you were complaining.
thank you.
I thought you were saying that we
No.
I apologize.
That's why I addressed what President Frazier said, and I also addressed the other thing, how the property was got.
Because we want you people to not be stepped on over there by anyone.
Right, and that's
And
okay.
we do understand Lawrence Tech wants to expand. We sure don't want them to cause any discomfort to your neighborhood or your individuals.
Okay, and that's why I thought I began, which they said,
Okay.
I began, first thing, thank you, because you did address those issues. but my only thing was by you addressing those issues at the end, it was like Lawrence Tech went through their whole spiel, and that wasn't addressed. You had to bring it up to them to address it, and that's what I told the one guy, you said, Kevin, student director who's called me, that was my issue, was the fact that council had to bring it up and address this issue and ask y'all that, and you sat there dumbfounded about the question. You shouldn't have been dumbfounded about the question if this is the representation, this is the person who's supposed to be representing the president of the school. And he agreed with me about that same fact, that they should not have come there that flat-footed, not knowing. So that, I was very happy and pleased about that. As a matter of fact, I went back and told the neighbors that you stood up and you spoke out for us, that we had that there from you.
I have a question to ask you. From your perspective, where do you see the front of the new dorm?
The front of the new dorm.
Which side of the building do you consider the front of the dorm?
Oh, he gave me the plan, so I have the pictures exactly where the front of the dorm is, how it's articulated, so I know exactly. The front dorm is pointed, as opposed to, this is the parking lot, pointed out this way where the parking spots are at. Okay. It's not that way, it's turned this way. So it's turned towards the wooded area, which you've seen, but it also will be pointed so that it's facing the other dorm. But if you turn to the other way, it doesn't come into our street. And I can show you that on their drawing from scale. All you gotta do is articulate that thing the other way around. And it fits.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.